Yeah, Russ, just how big was it for you guys as an offense to bounce right back after the early interception to go down and get that touchdown, kind of get going?
Well, it was just one moment in time. We kept moving, we kept playing. We knew we had a great game plan. I think Coach Shoddy did an amazing job calling plays. I think the ball was spread around, which we've always said we wanted to be able to do. So many guys making plays. I mean, Tyler had a great game. DK had an unbelievable game. It's a great corner, and Gilmore. DK just keeps showing up. And then you have, guys, like Freddie Swain getting his first touchdown. David Moore making an unbelievable catch, and then Chris Carson. So, it was a special game because we kept battling. We knew it was going to come possibly down to the wire just because of the style of game and just all the different things that we were going to have to face. And there was a lot of great moments in there. And so, it's very important. I've always said this to you guys. It's very important to be able to win games like this, to constantly win games, even though it may be tight, even though it's close. It's the NFL, and it's never going to be easy. And so I'm proud of what we were able to do.
Joe Fan.
Russ, what can you say about DK going up against Gilmore and then ultimately getting the upper hand against the reigning defensive player of the year?
Yeah, I just thought DK was unbelievable. He came into the week very focused. He's such, we spent so much time together in the offseason, it was quality time, the hours upon hours, he isolated in a way, just spending time together and showing up for him and, showing up for us as a team. And so the great thing is that we got so many guys that can make plays. I mean, like you saw tonight. So, I think DK's work ethic, I think DK's professionalism, his focus, all the way from the Zoom meetings to us preparing one-on-one together, to all the way to just who he is as a person, high character, just obviously to his talent as well. It all makes plays, so it all comes together as one.
Corbin Smith.
Hey, Russ, obviously DK has made this kind of laughable, but there's usually a learning curve at the receiver position, and yet Freddie Swain, you just mentioned him a second ago, he's come in last week, recovered a fumble on special teams, made his first catch, and then gets his first touchdown today. What have you seen from him? It just doesn't seem like the stage is too bright for this kid as a sixth-round pick, and he's been able to come in and be an instant contributor for your team.
Yeah, I think that's a great question, Corbin. The first thing that popped up in my brain was when you were talking about that question was I thought about the offseason. As soon as we drafted him, I mean, all the time that we spent on the Zoom calls, I just spent an hour before, an hour after. He was in every single one of them, dialed in and taking notes. We were on group messages with the rookies, and he was helping lead that conversation with DJ Dallas and other guys. And I think that who he is, how he played in college, he's transferred it to the game. Football is just football. He knows it, he understands it, he processes it. He does a great job. He takes it very serious on offense and defense, offense and special teams, I should say. And then, I think more importantly too is that he's got great guys in the room with him. You got guys like DK, Tyler, David Moore, and just great group of men in that room. And I think that he's molded in unbelievably well. And he's made some special plays for us in the past 2 games.
AJ McCord.
Russ, so one of the things David Moore told us after the game that he finds so great about you is how you always believe, no matter what, you're the one picking players up. When you start the game, though, with a pick six, how do you mentally get back in gear, put that behind you to the point where you can also encourage the rest of your receivers?
AJ, I think it's a great question. I think, obviously that one play wasn't what we wanted, but there's a lot of game left. And I go straight to neutral. And I've always talked about it, but being neutral, not being too high, not being too low, understanding that neutrality is going to allow me to be successful, more times than not. I'm such a big believer in it, and I think it's helped my career, my life, everything else, from the greatest moments to the toughest moments, and just being to remain neutral allows me to just focus on the next play, the next moment, and just being in it, and I think that's been a key component of it, and it's why I started a business and everything else around it. I really believe in it. And Trevor Moad and I have spent so much time around this concept, that thought process for the past, 10, 11 years. And, I think ultimately too, I think belief comes from experience as well. It comes from having tough times in life, at times when you don't have much, or whatever it may be, and to realize that this is a game, that this is when your dad's on his deathbed, there's understanding that, this is a gift, and why would I not believe? Why would I think any other way? And so I think that's a big component of just who I am. I think just God giving that belief, every time. And so I think for me, just continue to try to speak life into guys, speak life into the situation, continue to talk about it, and I'm just grateful that I get to do it with these, with this group of men.
Thank you.
Michael Sean.
Russ, we heard you on the Dan Patrick show yesterday. It's quite a way to make your point, huh, on Sunday Night Football?
No, I think that, Dan asked me a great, question about, what do I think? I think, I don't come to play this game to be second place. I think that, if I'm not thinking that way, I'm crazy, because, if you want to be great, you have to believe in who you are and what you have and all the things that you do. I put tons of work in this game, and I want to be the best in the world, but I can't do it alone. It's all the guys that we have around me, and just they've done a great job of making plays, and it's really a special group of men that we have on offense and defense. And I'm grateful to be able to play with such amazing guys. Like I said earlier, I think it's all part of the process. And there's so many great guys, great quarterbacks. I mentioned, obviously guys like Patrick Mahomes. I mentioned guys like Lamar and guys like Drew and guys like Tom, and I have a lot of respect for, but if I'm not believing that, that in taking the shot, you know what I mean, then you're never going to hit it. You know what I mean? So I think that's always got to be your mindset.
Thanks.
Ben Arthur.
Hey, Russ, you've talked about how you feel like you're the best you've ever been in your career at this point. I think you said something about 70% of your potential or whatever. Just right now, 9 touchdowns through 2 games, just really stellar, efficient play. You just feel like you're in a zone right now. Just take me through how, just your zone. Do you feel like you're at another year right now to start the season?
Yeah, I think that definitely in the zone, locked in, focused, dialed in. My teammates are too. It's a great group of men, like I said. I've been ready to play, since the last time we had our last game in Green Bay. I just been every day. It's my mindset, just my performance team and everything else. Just everything that we put into it is just getting ready, and trying to be great. And I think that. I have an obsession with this thought process of always trying to find more. There's always be on this constant quest for knowledge, be on this understanding that, that I want to continue to push myself, and just the fundamentals, the simple things of the game, all the way to, the fun parts of the throwing the ball in certain spots and all that stuff too. But I have a love and passion for this game. Hours and hours and hours and hours of film, hours of time, and just focus in the off season and everything else. It all adds up, and nothing happens by accident. You got to put the work in. And I think that it's just a start. I haven't done anything yet, so it's just a start. We got a long ways to go, and we're just focused on the next opportunity.
Thanks.
Greg Bell.
Russ, I think the most touchdowns in a 2-game stretch for you. What's working, maybe perhaps more than in the past?
I think guys are just making tremendous plays. I think that Coach Shoddy is doing an unbelievable job of calling plays. We're mixing the ball up in terms of who's catching it, who's touching it, in terms of the running game and everything else. And I think the guys up front are doing a great job, man. They're giving me time to make throws and allow me to try to make some of these throws and stuff like that. So I just think it all comes down to the kind of guys you have in the room, on the field and everything else. And like I said, I think Coach Shoddy's doing a great job of calling the plays. QB room's great, with Gino and Danny and Austin Davis. And we spent a lot of time together, guys like Dave Canales. We spent a lot of time together just working on it and just spending a lot of time trying to be great. So like I said, I think that it's just a start. And we want to continue to have a hot hand. We want to continue to deliver the ball to the right guy at the right time.
Brady Henderson.
Hey, Russ, we saw DK get physical and kind of mix it up with Stephon Gilmore tonight. Have you seen that kind of nastiness from him before?
Yeah, for sure. I think since the moment DK got here, he's always been passionate about the game, always been tough as nails, always been focused on being an aggressor and owning his space, as a player. Also, I think also in the passing game, he wants the opportunity. He wants to be great. He wants to be the best in the world at what he does. I think, we got some, some of the top receivers, in the game, with Tyler and DK, and honestly, they need more respect in terms of just what they've been able to do consistently over and over and over again. DK has been unbelievable, and what he's been able to do as a rookie coming in last year, and then obviously what he's been able to do this year so far. And then guys like Tyler Lockett, I mean, for the past, I don't know however many years we played together, and it feels like forever, but just, he's been unstoppable, so just, like I said, though, to be honest with you, obviously they're super talented, but it's the men they are, it's who they are, and it's the work that they put in, it's the attention to detail, and it's their faith in it all. And so it's been a pretty cool process to have such great receivers that I get to be around.
Thanks.
Mark Schwartz.
Russ, what's the feeling like when you put a ball up there for DK Metcalf in full stride against one of the great defenders in our game, and it falls perfectly where you want it, and he goes on and scores? And then you do it again in the little corner of the end zone by the pylon to a guy who was a 7th-round pick. How hard have you worked to make throws like that, and what's the feeling when it actually just converts?
Mark, I think it's a great question. That people talk about 10,000 hours to be great. I feel like I've spent 30,000 hours, just on those type of plays. And you spend so much time, in the off season, and just, like I said, the obsession with doing it, over and over and over and over again, and just working at it and perfecting it. If it's not perfect, let's do it again. Hey, let's get that rep again. Let's do this right. Let's do this. And those guys have completely bought into the thought process of it all. They've completely bought into the work ethic of it all. They are who they are in terms of just as men, like I said earlier. And I think ultimately, God's given me a gift, and just I want to continue to use it, and just give guys a chance to make a play, and they keep making plays, and it's a lot of fun. I always think back to baseball. People always ask me what's a greater feeling, hitting a home run or throwing a touchdown. I've thrown a lot more touchdowns in my professional career than home runs, but both feelings are amazing. And I think, I just love winning. I love winning. I love the process of winning. I love the process of the week. I love that more than the end result even. And so that's where I think it all comes from.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
2 more for Russell. Art Till, and then Jackie Montgomery.
Russ, last possession, you guys were 3rd and 1. You went deep to Lockett, overthrew him. Take us through that play. Pete said that there were a couple of options you had on that went away, and the Pats took it a defense away. Can you explain how that play went?
Yeah, we almost had it, Art. I mean, it was so close. I mean, we've hit that many a times before in the past. So we just barely missed that one. That would have been a pretty special play too. Tyler made so many plays, all day, and so I tried to give him a chance. They went cover 0. We almost had it, and that was basically it. I mean, they made a good play, and so we took our chance and we almost had it.
Thanks.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, Russ, with the incredible touchdown passes that you had and then the game ending on the 1-yard line, what was missed with no fans in the stands tonight?
Jackie, not having any fans is tough here. Just you miss the fun of it all. This game is meant to be played in front of thousands and thousands of people. It's so special, and but at the same time, no matter where you play it, you got to love it just as much. And the feelings and the emotions and everything else, it all comes out of you just playing the game. And so I think that, today, with, Sunday Night Football, we're so used to having so many people out there and fans going crazy and everything else. And we obviously miss, our 12s, and how much they mean to us. They always travel so well, too. We obviously, home games are always the best in the world. So just praying for healing, praying for a way to see our fans again, just because that's the fun part of this game too as well. I know it's fun for entertainment and everything else, but just praying for the world to get better and make that happen fast. But I think it's just it was a great game today, like you said. I think as we talked about just earlier, it's that last play, our defense making that stop was an unbelievable stop and a key moment. We needed that. That's championship caliber football when you have to make a stop. Sure enough, we did.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you, guys. Go Hawks. Yep.